I have a show that I am so excited about.
Oh.
It has been a long
really
time
tell.
since I've been this excited about a show, because let me first read to you the team behind it. It is going to get everybody.
Is it Dr.
so
Stone?
excited. Well, hello, and welcome back to Gateway to Anime. How are you all? What's going on? We are the podcast where we throw open the gates to anime, where we deep dive into the classics as well as bring you the best new anime. Ever wanted to get into anime but didn't know where to start? Then we are the podcast for you. I am your host, Sam, and I am joined by Charlie. How are you going?
Good. Excited to, bid farewell to what we've all kind of described as a bit of an average season of anime with the winter season, and welcome in the new, spring?
Spring.
Yeah, that's how the seasons work. Spring season. So it's exciting.
Spring hath sprung. And of course, we're also joined by Graeme. How are you today, mate?
Anime doesn't stop. It's like the mail. It just keeps coming.
Just keeps coming, Jerry.
Can't take it anymore. No, good. Very good. Happy for the end of the last and the beginning of the new.
And of course, before we dive any further into this episode, we would like to thank our sponsor, Hobbyco. Check out the link in the bio. We'll be back later in the episode to talk more about that soon. Australia's oldest hobby shop. We are, of course, bringing you the Spring 2025 season hype up. So that means we have been scrolling and deep diving through my anime list and looking at the next shows that are about to come in the next anime season. And we're going to highlight the ones that we think are worth watching, and perhaps some of the ones which look particularly insane, of which there are a few.
Charlie's got
us covered on that, don't you worry. But anyway, just quickly, of course, our last episode was about sort of wrapping up the season that was just gone. And as you mentioned before, Charlie, now was the winter of our discontent. It was pretty poor, not going to lie. Some good ones, of course, some good returning shows, and, a couple of disappointments. But on the whole, pretty weak. I think we can all agree with that, right?
Is there like a ranking of seasons? Is that something we should do? Like, if you see like a bar chart or something across the year, is it the average like winters are kind of crap and then?
Well,
it's usually summer.
Summer's usually the bad one.
Right.
Summer's usually the bad one.
Is that because people are out living life?
I guess so.
Honestly, I don't know.
Though.
I think it varies every time. I don't think there's any like rhyme or reason to the seasonal. But it's good if there would be. It's like this one's always a dud.
Help me greatly.
But honestly, maybe they do like.
I mean, there must be like
some
a
of the
prime
heavy
season.
hitters.
We got to keep the big hit. Like they do
it's usually
movies.
October.
It's like May, June, July,
It's
summer.
usually the fall season.
Fall's usually pretty stacked.
Fall's pretty good.
And maybe I feel like, maybe it's just that they've had a lot of shows and then it's like the big returning ones. It's always hard to know what's going to be like a new hit. Whereas you kind of know if you've got like Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, you're like, okay, this might be a big season, like if you have your big ones returning that already proved their longevity with their popularity. But it's always hard to know what the hidden gems are. And that's what my favorite part of the whole experience is. So I always enjoy when we get to the start of a new season, I can watch a whole pile of things, and more often than not, some things are absolutely.
I just need bangers.
Yeah.
Banger after banger.
Or killer, no filler.
I'm so old at this point that I just can't spend the time.
Well,
you
I wish you
target
could.
your shows.
I watch 1 hour of TV a night, and it's off to bed.
Well, you should.
Gaviscon.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Eye mask.
You should listen to this podcast after to get a guide.
Yeah.
No, well, before we do dive into this, if you like what we're doing, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where hopefully you're watching this podcast. But if you are a listener, you can give us a 5-star review on Spotify or write us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really does make a massive difference. And if you really like what we're doing, you can find us on Patreon, where we do special episodes, early releases, and behind-the-scenes footage. All right, so let's dive into the Spring 2025 anime season. I have a show that I am so excited about. It has been a long time since I've been this excited about a show, because let me first read to you the team behind it. It is going to get everybody.
Is it Dr.
so
Stone? Is it back?
So here's what you understand about Dr. Stone,
Here's the
guys.
thing,
Here's
guys.
the thing, right?
He's a scientist.
He didn't go to the moon though.
No, not yet. It's very disappointing, actually. Anyway, so this show is called Lazarus. Lazarus is written and created by Shinichiro Watanabe. Now, of course, for anyone who is either a new fan or an old fan, that is the man behind Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, Kids on the Slope, all of some of the best shows. And of course, Cowboy Bebop, obviously one of the greatest of all time. You can check out our video on YouTube if you haven't, how we talk about how it blends genres masterfully. One of my favorite videos we've done, actually. Underwatched. So go and help us out there. But it's true. Fucking watch it. It's good. But alongside...
Oh, sorry. The self-plug in the
aggressive
really
self-plug.
Yeah, we wonder why that's underviewed. Just like
people
aggressively
like,
advertised.
"Fuck this guy."
Yeah, I'm
Pulling people
listening
into
to
watching
that.
shit doesn't work. What are you talking about?
Absolutely not.
Superliminal. Hey, you, watch the video.
Oh.
Anyway, so it is also co-written by his longtime collaborator, Dai Saito, who he worked on Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, but also his own works, or other works that he's worked on outside of what he's done with Watanabe, Ergo Proxy, Wolf's Reign, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Now, he wasn't the sole creators behind those, but he's worked on those projects. They've also brought in another writer, a guy called Takahiro Ozawa, who wrote the Mazinger Z movie, Infinity, and also did the Mazinger Z interval piece manga, which started publication in 2017. So he seems to be a little bit, that's pretty much the only thing he's done outside of this. So maybe they've seen him and be like, we like this guy's work. Let's bring him in. There wasn't a huge amount to find about him online, but quite interesting. So the theme song and additional music is being done by Kamasi Washington. Now, anyone who knows Watanabe's work knows that he's all about the music, right? So obviously, famously, he works with Yoko Kanno, who has done so much, but famously Cowboy Bebop. Incredible stuff. But Kamasi Washington, for those of you who don't know him, is an American. He played the saxophone on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kendrick. Like, he's been nominated for
That's crazy.
Grammys.
Okay.
Jazz guy. Like, he's just done so much stuff. He's played with Lauryn Hill, Snoop Dogg, Flying Lotus, St. Vincent, Run the Jewels. Like, this guy rocks. He's such a good musician. And the other musician he's working with, another Western musician, is Bonobo, the British.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the British. So the music's been done by Kamasi Washington and Bonobo. This is going to be so cool. I mean, I fucking hope so, because it'd be really disappointing with this team if it's not. But yeah, anyone who doesn't know, Bonobo, obviously an English DJ, Grammy nominated as well, started off very like trip hop, part of the sort of like early ambient wave DJs, like back in sort of 2010-ish, like kind of off the back of Nujabes, obviously, you know, who also did Samurai Champloo soundtrack with Watanabe. But now he's moved a bit more into jazz world music. He's particularly influenced by Indian music, so sort of Indian like cultural, historical music. So I'm really excited by that. The character designer is someone called Ekami Hayashi, who was a key animator on Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Oh, that's good.
Monster, or on High School Host Club.
Thank goodness.
As
I was
a
like,
key
you haven't mentioned
Wow.
a single good show this whole spiel. Sorry.
Well, here's another one. Storyboard and key animator on Skate the Infinity.
Now we're talking.
It's like
Banana
the
Fish.
Avengers of animation teams.
It's crazy,
Seriously,
man.
it's like the greatest lineup
so
of all.
Dude,
time.
it's we're getting One Punch Man season 1 vibes with this team, right? She also was a key character designer on Banana Fish, Fruits Basket remake, Slam Dunk, Space Dandy. Like, anyway, I'm losing my shit over this. It's gonna be like, please God, don't suck. It would be so disappointing.
What's the story?
Let's tell you.
What's it about, Sam?
I want to
So-
know what it's about.
The year is 2052, an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this, mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Prize-winning neuroscientist Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hapuna. Hapuna soon becomes ubiquitous and essential. However, soon after Hapuna is officially introduced, Dr. Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as a harbinger of doom. Skinner announces that Hapuna has a short half-life. Anyone who's taken it will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for this sinful world, and coming soon. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents is gathered from across the world to save humanity from Skinner's plan. This group is called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out? Now, if you watch the trailer, it is so stylish. There seems to be a lot of like free running. But again, we've got the cyberpunk, we've got that Watanabe kind of Cowboy Bebop style.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I'm excited about this. I'm excited.
I hope it doesn't just become a medical procedural. Like, I hope it's just not anime house, you know? Like,
We get
like,
that in rural
sounds all
China
amazing, but it's just
with
Apothecary Diaries, and it's
And
excellent.
it's fantastic.
So I could take another Apothecary Diaries
but
with a different
cyberpunk,
soundtrack.
with a different soundtrack.
Absolutely.
With jazz and like Indian music.
Yeah.
Like,
just in the lab, like
Trip hop.
beakers and shit.
So like, yeah, it's giving serious like cyberpunk sci-fi.
Big time.
Yeah, with like, mystery drug, which is actually kind of banana fishy by the sound of it.
Yeah, totally.
So I think that sounds sick, and I'm definitely signing up for that.
Yeah. Look, I'm really excited about this. Just wanted to talk about the team because I think sometimes like understanding who's working behind a project can go a long way into telling you how good it's going to be, right? Even if you are new to the field, it's simple as like, hey, people who worked on that, I liked. Therefore, maybe this will be good. Doesn't always happen. But anyway, so that is my number one most anticipated show of spring 2025. Guys, what have you got for me? For the crowd, for the audience, in fact, not me.
Just for
I
you.
mean, there's a
Me
couple
specifically.
of interesting ones. We'll quickly just list off some returning ones so people know.
We'll do the returners.
Just because obviously every season we've got things that are returning. Personally, not across this, but I know that you both are. But Fire Force Season 2 is making a return.
Very soon, you can watch a video, which is nearly killing us to make, but we are doing a recap of Fire Force because let me tell you, confusing show, especially with the lore and all of it. Tell you what, going back through it to do the recap,
Yeah.
there was a whole arc I blocked out of my brain. I was like, oh,
Was it
that's right.
Was it when they go to China to get potatoes?
I remembered that one
Like,
somehow.
Not good.
Somehow.
It's not
No, it was
good.
the next one when he's at Hajime Industries and like Conroe.
Oh,
That
yeah.
the guy whose whole thing is like just bullying weak people. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh," I blocked that from my
beats
brain.
a child up for like 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
So a lot of good reasons to block some of that stuff out of my brain because some of that show is problematic, but also entertaining.
People love Fire
Look.
Force, though. I've actually recently, I didn't know because I kind of avoided it based on a lot of the stuff I'd heard through you guys and like some of the things that just didn't really seem like it was going to be my cup of tea. But a lot of people really like it, and the animation looks cool. And
It's
like,
David Productions, which is
It is, yes, JoJo.
JoJo. So
Yeah.
it looks amazing. And we've always talked about like the sound editing and production on it is just flawless.
I think
Like,
the
it
sound
really
design
is.
is up there for one of my favorite sound designs
100%.
of all time. It's actually incredible.
100%.
and same, the mangaka is the same as Soul Eater, which is one of my like classic favorites. So
Absolutely.
I don't know, that'd be interesting.
It looks great. Great characters,
Great world
interesting
build.
power system. World build's great, but it's very confusing. And then you've chuck in that etchy fucking character, Maki.
Tamaki.
Oh, that's terrible. It's one of
It's-
those ones you got to look over your shoulder when it's on. Just like,
Yeah.
Fan service,
It's
not
a problem.
really.
It's one of those shows, and I found this like writing this video, right? Is that it's like it actually occupies a very interesting space in modern shonen, right? Because it's not part of the Dark Trio, it's not like a throwback to kind of like the more classic big three, like My Hero, like Black Clover.
Yeah.
It actually, like Soul Eater, occupies a weird space because like there's always elements of like a lot of like weird sexuality part, and like every character's got some kind of slight like it's a bit icky.
It's like that raunchy comedy, that like that
Exactly
kind of
right.
screwball raunchy, which is like a taste thing that is not necessarily something that we have always enjoyed us personally. Like I'd say, just in terms of the shows that we pick, but is very popular for a reason. People love that kind of comedy. So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And it does have those moments of just like proper etchy, like again, we've talked about Tamaki's character before, but like her whole thing is called like Lewd Lure or something. And it's like her clothes fall off. And it's but like not like always just in comedic moments, and I use air quotes specifically.
they're
there.
quite forced. Like it.
But it's in the middle of battles and stuff, and like just kills momentum. It's not funny, not to me. Maybe I'm missing some cultural cues there. I don't know, but like, I just find it unfunny. I find it weird, icky, annoying, and it's one of those things. Where it's like, if you removed this,
It's great. Sure.
would it hinder the show? No, it would improve it.
No.
So it's one of those annoying things. But I sound like I'm shitting on this show. I'm not, because I still watch it. I think as a shonen, it does occupy an interesting space. The fact that it is perhaps more like, in quotation marks, Japanese in its style is interesting to me. But there are some elements that I find problematic, frankly. But like, I do like it. It's weird. It's a weird one.
Soul
It's really
Eater
weird.
also kind of occupied an interesting space. In terms
Yeah.
of stylistically, I feel like it's a little less like cut and dry, like Chosen One storyline. Do you know what I mean? Like it's actually, I think narratively that creator is always doing something kind of interesting.
Yes, agreed.
And yes, the tone is not really my favorite thing, but I think it is. It's its own kind of unique thing. It almost sits up there with like Killer Kill or Gurren Lagann.
a very
Like
good
that's
point.
kind of in that space. It's not in
Yes,
the which
yes.
which people love, and like those shows I also really
Akame ga
love.
Kill.
That's
in a
not.
way.
That's like edgelord. That's going.
There's elements there.
Yeah, but nah.
The other
Don't
ones-
bring up
the other ones
Akame
are-
ga Kill in front of it. I
know how much you hate it.
hate that show because I wanted that to be good. When I heard, I think when I was like a teenager when that came out,
Yes.
I thought that my prayers being answered. I was like, I just want like a shonen where like adult things happen,
Yes.
And I was like, here you go. And I was like, oh no, I take that one back.
Careful what you wish
Hate
for.
that one. But there's again some powers in that I really like. So I'm not like
Yeah.
But Fire Force, I haven't watched it, but I'm actually going to. I think because I really
Ooh.
like the idea of the world build and I like the way it looks and I love
Great
Soul Eater.
characters.
So I feel like I should. Yeah.
The little guy who thinks he's a knight,
Oh, Arthur.
Arthur.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's great. He just thinks he's a knight of Camelot.
The more diluted he gets,
Yeah.
the more powerful he is.
More insane he
there's
is,
some-
See, I love that.
There
Yeah.
is like there are elements of the show that are so good. It's just
Yeah.
like there's just other elements that take me out of it. But like it's a weird one because I really
How come Dan to Dan doesn't do the same for you?
oh, it's a good point.
Because I think there's more context to what's going on.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
True.
if
It
someone,
sounds like this
someone
is very...
trips over and just falls, like, puts their hand like down in the girl's shirt
Yeah,
for some
which
reason,
happens all the
like,
time.
there's no reason for
And
it.
that's giving really truth. It's
Yeah.
giving like we've kind of like maybe that used to be very much like the norm in
did.
a lot of shows, and there still probably are in a lot of shows as well. I just we don't opt to watch them. So, but yeah, interesting.
Windbreaker season 2 is coming back. I spoke about Windbreaker a little while back. It's obviously like if Tokyo Revengers didn't take itself seriously, which I like, and I really enjoyed Windbreaker season 1 up until
Terrible name, though.
terrible name.
Well, it's the same as that. We've had this. I got so confused and thought it was on about bike
Oh, the
riding.
bike riding.
For the memoir about bike
It's terrible
riding,
names.
Yeah,
but it's not.
no, nothing.
Windbreaker.
Yeah, it's
Fart
bizarre.
Man. Like,
Yeah, it's great. Look,
Terrible.
I will watch it. It's on my potential to drop list because, like I say, what I liked about it was that it's literally just about like a delinquent who goes to a school made specifically for delinquents who are like gang fighters, and they're like, but they protect the town that they're in because they got a heart of gold. Of course they do. And it's just about them like fighting other schools and like gang versus gang, but like in a school context. I was like, okay, it's like Tokyo Revengers not taking itself seriously. You know what I mean? Like,
time travel.
and no time travel, for fuck's sake. But everyone, speaking of Kill la Kill and you, Tokyo Revengers and me, I fucking hate it. As I've said many times on
Not
the
Kill
show.
a Kill. Akame ga Kill.
Sorry, Akame ga Kill. Akame ga Kill.
Whoa, people come for me.
He's like, Akame ga Kill. Basically, I really liked Windbreaker until the end when they tried to do that really like classic shonen thing. I've spoken about this before, I'll be quick. But like basically where they have the main antagonist who is a piece of shit and then be like, but actually this is why. And then at the end I was like, no. He's worse. He's still a piece of shit. You didn't explain that. It was really poorly told, really forced. It made no sense. He still came across as a piece of shit. And then they were like, see, he's redeemed now. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, he isn't. Like, so it was just really poorly handled. It's massive in Japan. They love it. It's a big show in Japan. When I was there about this time last year, merch everywhere in Akihabara. Seems that delinquent shows go really well. Tokyo Revengers was the biggest selling manga of 20...
delinquents and anime go together like ice skating and anime. It's a match made in heaven.
It is.
Seriously,
It is.
that's the shit. Like people,
is.
like delinquents are the fucking best. You
Great
got
teacher,
GQ
Onizuka,
oh yeah, I was gonna
yeah.
say you've got so many. It's like such a anime trope.
It is.
And the wilder the hair, the better.
Yes, this guy does have black and white hair split down the middle.
Perfect.
I'm not watching it.
Look, I don't mind it. I'm going to watch it again. I just hope it's fun. When it's like really leaning into its silliness, and that's when I think it's good.
Okay.
Just like Tokyo Revengers, please don't try and tell me a serious story in this context because you can't. It's ridiculous. But we'll see. So wait and see for me.
And before we get too far into this conversation about the greatest season of anime that has ever aired, I would like to thank today's episode sponsor, of course, which is Hobbyco. Roll the tape. Hobbyco is for people who take their fun seriously. Hobbyco are one of Australia's most nostalgic and trusted hobby retailers, relied upon by hobby enthusiasts of every kind for almost 90 years. They stock everything from anime figures to model kits and craft supplies, so you'll almost always find something fun and exciting at Hobbyco. If you're in Sydney, head into their stores to browse their exciting range, or head to their website at hobbyco.com.au. And you can, of course, learn more about Hobbyco by following the link in our bio. Thank you so much for sponsoring, and yeah.
Another one returning is I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level season 2. Obviously, I didn't watch it because it's the most light novel sounding title of all time.
Have we
Isekai,
spoke about
clearly.
did we speak about the first season and I just haven't?
Nope.
Like, no?
It's a returning show.
It just returns.
And it's
cool.
highly rated on Mal for some reason. And people like it, obviously. Hey, if it's good, tell us why. I don't know.
Yeah, Isekai.
Sounds dumb to me, but I've been wrong before.
I feel like Isekais, for us to even like, for me to watch it in general, has to be like so highly regarded that I'm like, you know what, I'll give that a go. Otherwise, I kind of just like, it's all a bit of white noise. Other one is Go Go Loser Ranger season 2.
Yes, it is.
Which I know you read the manga of, and I watched season 1. I really liked it.
I didn't finish season 1.
I did. I really liked it. I actually think it was at the same time that what was the other one that was similar? Oh, Kaiju number 8, because they're quite similar in like their own way. And I remember for a while there, I was like, I think stylistically, I was sort of more into Go Go Loser Ranger. I prefer Kaiju number 8 in the end, just because the story I think is a bit stronger and the characters, and like Go Go Loser Ranger is definitely more on the like silly side, like, but it'll catch you kind of unaware. And I like the whole concept of it.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, and it's
concept.
entertaining.
I think, was it on Disney?
It was.
Over here?
In
I feel
Disney
like
jail.
anything that goes on Disney, I just forget about
Yeah, it's tough.
until
It's a real
season 2
pain.
comes out. I'm like, oh shit.
Better get Disney.
Except Bleach.
Oh yeah, except Bleach.
Yeah, except Bleach.
Disney jail.
Yeah, Disney jail is tough. I like Netflix jail. Yep, that's another one. But guys, what's a new show coming that you're excited about that you want to talk about?
We recently were invited to go see the movie edit of this new show that was coming up. It's Mobile Suit Squeaks Quacks Squawk Squin. No, I think it's pronunciation is all over the place.
It's
but,
GQuuuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuuX.
but other people are saying it's GQuuuuuuuX. Like,
Wow.
They had a title drop in the movie.
did they actually?
Yeah.
Okay, GQuuuuuuuX.
I remember I was so stoked that happened because we
Yeah.
were all like way too afraid to even say it out loud.
I
But
still am.
are you seeing the new mobile suit? And then they said it, and I think half the audience went, oh, that's like wrote it down. They're like,
So
right,
it's GQuuuuuuuX.
GQuuuuuuuX.
But we were fortunate enough to be invited along to see. It was the first 3 episodes into a movie.
Thank you, Segoiko, here in
Segoiko.
Australia.
And this is some heavy hitters. We did a video on this. Produced by Sunrise, which you may know as Akira, Macross, all the Gundams, and Studio Kara, Evangelion. Ever heard about it? Yeah, this is the 16th Gundam show.
Is that all?
16th, which is crazy. It's an alternative version. It's not in the Universal Century timeline, so it's pretty approachable for newbies.
So yeah, Hideaki Anno was one of the co-writers, and his protege, who actually also was one of the main creators on Fully Cooley or FLCL, was the director on this one. So it's a really cool team. And you can really see the influences, I think, in the second half of the film that are from Fully Cooley, like, or FLCL, in character designs, in energy, in the frantic kind of like fun, like it really rattles along in a similar kind of like outlandish way. I don't know, for me, I mean, I did a review. You can probably check it out if you want. As somebody who's very minimum, like I've only watched about a couple of episodes of Gundam total, or like maybe I've seen like 1 season of Gundam. And so I was coming in a little bit confused, particularly in the first half.
You got the real Gundam experience.
Yeah.
Because Zion and the United Federation, I've watched many a Gundam. I'm like, I still don't know who the bad guys are, or who the good people are. I don't know what the war's about most of the time. To be confused is normal.
Yeah, I think that the thing that was interesting about this is the first half of the movie is also like going to be probably different from the series, I imagine, because it's a compilation film, so we don't know what the series is actually going to look like. Very much in 2 sections. So the first section is like an alternate history of is it year 1?
Yes.
Yes.
The 1 year war.
Yeah, the 1 year war, which is I think without spoiling anything too much, I think
It's hard to talk about.
the Gundam fans were like the OG Gundam fans, people who are up to date with timelines were like freaking out over that. Whereas I was like, I don't get it. But then afterwards reading about it, I was like, oh, I see why that's a huge freaking deal. But I'm excited for that one too. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'd love to, like we were talking about, they threw it back to the old sort of 70s style. And I thought, is this going to be the whole look of the show? And then like there's a little bit of a time skip. And then you're really into that sort of fully coolly, real high energy anime sort of stuff. Yeah, I think there's a lot for old fans and newbies as well. Like I'm excited. I think it looked spectacular.
Yeah.
Whether or not that quality carries on to like the rest of the series, because I feel like that looked like money on the screen. Yeah, I'm keen.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
Charlie, what are you excited about?
There's a few things this season. So one that I was like, first of all, there's an anime adaptation of Anne of Green Gables.
Okay, you had me at straight away.
Yeah. It's called Anne Shirley. I don't know. It looks like I went great. Like, it's based off a manga, which is an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables called like Anne Akami no Anne. It's not called that. It's not called that.
Akami la Anne.
It's something like that. Though. I had it written down, but anyway, it's an anime adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, and I just went, and it looks incredibly wholesome and looks like, it's just like a straight adaptation of that, and I go, great, I'll give that a watch.
Okay.
I didn't really research further than that. I just wrote that down. As my notes are just like anime Anne of Green Gables. Sweet.
Yeah, that's a good.
wholesome story.
What other note would you possibly add to it?
Absolutely. But this one I was so interested in. I don't know if you've read this, but this is based on a manga that's actually in Shonen Jump. But watching the trailer and reading the synopsis, you would really not put that there. It seems like a very like an outlier. It's called Witch Watch. Have you heard about this?
I've seen. Pretty popular.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I've never actually delved into it.
Yeah.
It's always, I see the cover and I'm like, it looks like kind of like Bubblegum Crash with like witches. It's got very pop art kind of style.
Yeah.
But people love it.
It's the same mangaka as so Kenta Shinohara, who did Sket Dance as well, which is another show that's also in Shonen Jump that is like about a dance club. That is like, I think that this is just like, I've never watched it, very popular. And apparently they take place in the same universe. So I don't know if that means anything, and I should watch Sket Dance. I didn't even know it had an anime adaptation. It does, so I will do that. But I'll give you the synopsis and why I found this show quite interesting. Nico Wakatsuki has finished her 6 years of witch training and is moving back to town by herself. As a new witch, she must choose a familiar to accompany her. However, unlike the other witches, she wishes to pick a non-animal familiar. There's no better companion than Morihito Moi Otogi, her childhood friend who happens to be an ogre. Morihito is vehemently opposed to being her servant, but he reluctantly accepts his fate after learning that a curse would revert him into a strange cow-tiger hybrid were he to disobey a witch's order. Due to Morihito's father leaving for a business trip and Nico's mother remaining behind in the witch's holy land, the two teens find themselves living together under the same roof. While Nico is ecstatic to be living with her crush, Morihito finds that her magical antics and overall clumsiness create more problems than solutions. With a prophesized disaster to befall Nico within the year, Morihito must do everything he can to protect her as her bodyguard while also upholding his duties as her familiar. So, when I heard ogre, I thought he was going to like an ogre. He just looks like a teenage kid. I don't think
Shrek.
No.
Okay.
I was like, what? Weird. From what I can gather, it's giving like, she's like manic pixie dum-dum like witch that's seems quite funny.
Zoe
and is
Deschanel.
very out of her element and very like, and it just has a crush on her childhood friend who doesn't know like the ways of like normal teenagers.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it looks really funny. Like, and I actually was laughing. There's this bit in the trailer. Because at first I was like, I have no idea what to think about this. It's like, it's in Shonen Jump. It seems kind of weird. It's giving like magical mishaps because she thinks it's a good idea to cast this spell and him having to like control her, like try like, her misuse of magic and everyone else being confused. There's this bit in the trailer that I actually laughed out loud when all the students are like, do some magic, like you gotta do some magic. And it's a normal high school. The teacher like walks in and everyone's just like, the whole class is just like up the walls and like sitting like the teacher's like freaks out being like, did I just walk into an infinity castle? Like it's just like, they're all just like upside, and I, like the way it was timed and the energy of it, I think it looks really funny.
Okay.
And I was like, what? Because I read the synopsis and I was like, weird, but I'll look it up. Has a pretty good team. It's got a theme song by Yosabi, who did the Oshinoko theme song.
Oh, yes.
Like really, really famous duo. I think it looks funny. It looks irreverent. It's giving sort of Dan to Dan energy like that. That's sort of like screwball kind of comedy. But it looks very innocent. And it looks fun and hopefully wholesome, but you never know.
We don't
roll the
know.
dice.
Yeah, but it sounded kind of unique to me, and I think it's getting what seems to be quite a big anime adaptation. I think people are kind of like, nice. Like it's a bit of a random one. Like it's a rom-com shonen, witch, ogre, high school shenanigans. And I went, sure, great.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud in the trailer. It's pretty rare for me.
True.
So
I don't think I've ever laughed at a trailer.
oh, well, you haven't seen Witch Watch?
Yeah.
That'll change your life. Yeah, that's up there for me.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, here is one which I find interesting. This is My Hero Academia Vigilante.
Ah.
So this is a spin-off of Kohei Horikoshi's My Hero Academia. Now, there's a lot of debate about its canonization. Is it canon? Is it not canon? Again, there's a lot of debate around this, but from what I read and from what I could deduce, Horikoshi has said that this does take place in his universe. It's not written by him, but it's a prequel. So it's 5 years before the events begin of the main story of My Hero Academia.
Right.
So he didn't co-write it, but it was based off concepts that he created. But it's not as if it's not like Kishimoto in Boruto and who ended up taking over. So this show actually also began in 2016. It actually started off on Jump Giga and then transferred to Shonen Jump Plus a few months later in 2016. It ended in 2022, July. But basically it's written by a guy called Hideaki Furuhashi and illustrated by a guy called Beten Court. And I was like, oh, that's not a Japanese name. It is. He's a Japanese guy. I thought.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. But they both now work on Spider-Man Octogirl.
All right.
So now creating together in Japan.
As a manga?
Yeah. So interesting. But apparently the show actually did quite well. But it is adapted by Bones Films. And so it's a subsidiary of Bones. So not Bones, as you've spoken about before about Bones, they've got lots of different studios.
One that's dedicated to My Hero Academia pretty much entirely. Yeah.
But this one is it seems to be a separate one again. It is directed by Kenichi Suzuki, who has worked on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hellsing Ultimate. And as an episode director, he was one of the main directors on a season of JoJo's. And also worked on Drifters as well. Written by a guy called Yosuke Kuroda, who was the main writer on My Hero Academia, as in for the anime adaptation. He also wrote High School of the Dead, won't hold that against him. Goblin Slayer, again, problem. But
what's it coming off here?
Trigun, 1996 version. 98, sorry. Yeah, so very, very accredited writer and literally the writer of the anime adaptation of My Hero Academia. So what are some good stuff here, but what is it about, you say? From Mal, living in a superhuman society, it is hard to feel special, even more so when the spotlight only shines on professional heroes. Those legally authorized to use their special powers known as quirks in public for the greater good. Koichi Himawari grew up aspiring to be a hero, but with a mediocre quirk like sliding that ties him to the ground. He can only slide.
He's a slippery fella.
It's like, imagine the whole world's a water slide.
Wow.
That's his power.
He can slide.
I
could see how that.
It could be very helpful.
My favorite
until
part
there's
of My Hero is when people get good, like make their shit quirks good. Like I'm like, hell yeah.
I think this is what this whole thing's about,
Yeah.
basically.
I'm gonna love this.
I know.
Sliding
So
doors.
he came to the conclusion, having been a slider, that he could only ever admire those with much more great powers, right?
Yeah.
Despite this, Koichi finds contentment in using his quirk to carry out day-to-day good deeds, such as returning lost items very quickly through sliding and crossing the elderly across the street.
Sliding.
It's funny though, like, is he I need to know, like, can he slide fast or is it just
It's
he
very
can just
fast.
Oh, okay.
Fast sliding.
I can, okay.
But what if there's some kind of inhibition?
needs
in
to
this-
stop?
What if there's an obstacle?
Yeah.
It's crash through it, die.
I'm
Like,
assuming he can stop
How do you
sliding.
fight?
You can't. By sliding. Just don't get up on
He can move-
Just say by
It's over,
sliding.
Anakin.
But he
I've
can
got the high
move.
ground.
But he can move so, like, yeah, I think sliding.
Is he slimy?
No.
Does he produce like mucus on his feet?
Just
He just
I don't think-
slides?
It's like Vin
So it's
Diesel
like-
in Triple X, just grinding on everything, like kind of like
So it's
that,
like
but
risky
on flat
business. He's just
surfaces.
going everywhere in his socks like Tom Cruise. Like,
Yeah. I'm obsessed.
It's really funny. However, Koichi's tame life takes a swing into the turbulent when he
takes a
is
slide.
Mal, you had it
That
right
was a
there.
wasted
You had it right there.
opportunity.
Whoever wrote this on Mal. So swing into the takes a slide into the turbulence when he is rescued from a back alley brawl by vigilante or illegal hero Knuckle Duster. Seeing hero potential in Koichi, he gets the sliding. Knuckle Duster enlists his help in tracking down the source of a dangerous drug known as Trigger that boosts the user's quirk at the expense of their rationality. So that's it, and it ran for quite a few years. It's
Yeah.
quite well regarded.
I think that's a smart move for extending the world build of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Because that's a big question. I think it comes up a bit in the show that I've always found interesting. It's like, what happens if, not necessarily this, because sliding isn't exactly what I'm about to say, but like, what happens if your quirk is more useful for bad doing? You know, like, what if you got a villain quirk?
Yeah, well, like the guy,
Or
the
a
mind
slide.
control guy.
Exactly. And that's the thing, everyone's like, stay away from him, he's going to be a villain. Or like, it's kind of this weird sort of like bias against whatever your quirk is.
Totally.
Like sliding, the obviously most villainous of all. But yeah, no, that's cool.
Look, I'm excited. The trailer looks fantastic. Really good animation. Looks sick. Yeah, I don't know what else to say apart from I love the My Hero Academia world. In fact, I know for a fact that the present Mike and Aizawa and their friend who ends up becoming Kurogiri, that whole relationship's explored quite a lot. I don't know if it'll happen in the first season, but in the manga, that does get fleshed out quite a bit,
Cool.
which is a big tick in its favor for those who are in favor of it being canon. So yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting. I'm really excited and can't wait to check it out.
Sick.
Mm.
I've got one that sounds really interesting. It's called Kowloon Generic Romance.
Ah, yes.
It's a seinen, based off a manga, I believe. In the distant future, individuals who adore the old way of life live in Kowloon Walled City, a slum city that serves as a refuge for those who long for the Hong Kong of the past. Realtor, Reiko, however, craves for a new and exciting place in the area. In contrast, her only co-worker, Hajime, enjoys the nostalgia that the city evokes and is off-put by anything modern that seeps past its walls. But despite their differing views and constant bickering on the most of mundane things, these two often find themselves enjoying each other's company. One day, a prank gone wrong leads Hajime to make an unexpected advance towards Reiko, after which he swiftly apologizes. Baffled by his actions, Reiko starts investigating for possible explanations, only to discover a past that she has no memory of. So, to me, that's giving Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Or like
Severance.
The Vow.
Yep.
Or 50 First Dates. Do you know what I mean?
Seminal classic.
Yeah, it's giving like, obviously there's more to this and there's some, like their relationship must be something that is kind of like, that's what I got. I could be so wrong. But their relationship is kind of, you know, so powerful that no matter what, you keep on coming back together even though you have the memories wiped. Yeah, I think that sounded interesting. I like the look of it. It looked cool. It's like based off, just in terms of the manga style, I thought it looked interesting. The world build and like the kind of idea of being stuck in this place and not knowing. I thought it had a couple of things about it that I thought were interesting. Like relationship, adult relationship, which is nice. You know, dystopic or modern like sci-fi. Yeah, I thought that one sounded really cool. So that's on one of the top of my lists.
Right on.
Yeah.
Ray, what do you got?
I got nothing else. I'm just having a quick scroll through.
I've got heaps.
You keep going.
Like you guys better.
keep
Honestly, I
going.
thought this season looked good.
I agree. I think this is
So
great.
you go first.
I'll throw in my last one that I'm really excited about. This is a Netflix original produced by Wit, Studio Wit. So, of course, so many shows.
Is it Wit Studio? It's Wit
It
Studio.
is Wit Studios. Yes.
Because I was writing it down. And I was like, why do we say Studio Wit?
Yeah, it is Wit Studios.
It's Wit Studio.
Correct.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies for all the times
sorry,
we've
Wit
said
Studio.
that. They'll live to see another day, I reckon. They'll fight to see another day.
But it's a Netflix original and written and directed by Masashi Koizuka, who, now a lot of this team are from Attack on Titan. A lot of this team. He was an episode director on a lot of Attack on Titan. He also worked on Durarara. I can never say that, but Durarara. Seraph of the End. He also worked on Baccano. So he's done a lot of stuff, but like AOT was a big thing. The episode director, Hiroyuki Tanaka, also a ton of work on AOT, Hellsing Ultimate, Claymore, and the sound director. Now, this got me excited. It's talking about great sound design like in Fire Force. The sound director is a guy called Masafumi Mima. Now, his credits as sound director: Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Kuroko no Basket, Perfect Blue.
Why is that?
I thought it was a nice juxtaposition.
I mean, I feel like
it's a good sound design.
I feel like the sound design would be iconic of that. You know,
That's what I'm saying. It's a good sound design.
Excuse me.
You just point a
It's my
recorder.
There it is.
It's my favorite show.
Charlotte's favorite show. Thank you, Lewis, for that mug. Perfect Blue,
That's what it is.
Paprika, Nana, Skate the Infinity, Hajime no Ippo, Card Captor Sakura.
Just like
The best of the best.
just the greatest list again.
Yeah, one of the best sound directors of all time. So very, very cool. So it's quite interesting. Again, I'm real cyberpunk vibes going, real sci-fi vibes in general this season, which I'm really excited about. So in the not too distant future, humanity has established a loosely organized world government with everything managed by an international AI network called Sapientia. People live peaceful lives by loyally obeying its rational decisions. Sort of Psycho-Pass vibes already. However, Sapientia's lunar development project, which sends criminals and pollutants to the moon to maintain Earth's peace, creates disparity and poverty on the moon, sparking a catalyst for war. Jack Shadow gets caught up in this conflict after losing his family to a terrorist bombing by the moon's rebel army. Vowing revenge, Jack joins the Earth army as a scout on the moon, only to discover an unexpected leader among the resistance forces, which I believe is his friend. So, could be cool.
Could be cool.
Could be cool. We've got, upstairs, downs. Well, we've got like literally an Australian style convict colony, which is the moon, which they just get rid of all all the undesirables. And it sounds like this AI is just running things very, very militantly as long as everyone toes the line. Again, Psycho Pass. So I don't know. I think this could be cool. It looked great. Wit, they make amazing stuff. They're making Zenshu this season at the moment. And while Zenshu's been overlooked by a lot of people, it looks fantastic. It hasn't been like super well received, like not crazy popular. But Wit always bring the thunder when it comes to animation. And I think this could be a hit. Netflix jail, but that's okay. Really keen to watch it. So yeah, Moonrise. Check it out.
That's cool.
Actually, speaking of Wit Studio, they're also doing a Yaiba Samurai Legend adaptation, which is based off a manga from 1988.
Yeah.
Which is like, Yaiba, like, they're doing an adaptation, which I was kind of like.
That's cool. I missed that.
Which is, the protagonist, Kurogane Yaiba, is a samurai wild child who trains in the jungle with his father, Kenjuro. By a twist of fate, the determined samurai, Yaiba, returns to Japan and encounters his rival, Onimaru Takeshi. Yaiba, who lives for serious battles, embarks on a spectacular adventure when Onimaru obtains legendary demon sword. I feel like people would recognize the art style of this. Yaiba's like very small bobblehead, like kind of like cutesy little, like that's the kind of design, right? Like a small, but very 80s. I think it went from 88 to 93. So I kind of, I enjoy I think it's the first anime adaptation of it as well, maybe. But fact check that. But yeah, I thought that looked cool. And also this other one that also looked cool before I get into the weirdest things that have ever happened. This one's called Apocalypse Hotel.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah. I was like, I like this. Like it's an anime original, I'm pretty certain, and by a studio I had no idea about. But I liked the concept of it. Many years have passed since humanity vanished from Earth, yet the Galaxy Tower Hotel in Ginza, Tokyo, continues to operate. At the center of its staff is Yachio, a dedicated hotelier robot, along with other employee robots working tirelessly in various departments. Together they spend what feels like an eternity maintaining the hotel, despite having no guests, as they await the return of their owner and the day humanity reappears. Now, a small miracle is about to change everything for Yachio and her robotic colleagues. I think that sounds cool. I was like, it could be one or two things. In my head, I was kind of like, it's giving, like existential robot, like kind of idea, or I don't know, or it could be funny. I don't know, but it sounds like it's probably going to be the first. I don't know what to make of it, but I thought the synopsis sounded cool.
Yeah.
Bunch of robots working at an empty hotel because they've been made to do so, but humanity has been wiped out.
Could be very existential, hopefully.
Yeah, is it Wall-E or is it the Jetsons? Like there's only two apparently categories.
That's the only two options it could possibly be.
That's all.
That's it. Nothing in between.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, what are your most cooked ones?
Well, actually, Sam, I've got one that's
anime.
not that cooked for you
Oh,
that I'm shocked
wow.
you didn't get because I'm actually like a bit embarrassed for you.
Uh-oh.
This one's called Uchujin Mumu. It's based off a manga. And
Is it My Home Hero?
no. A cat-like alien from a distant galaxy, Mumu, arrives on Earth. His goal is to learn about home appliance technology on Earth to recover the technology his species have lost.
Did you write this, Sam?
The protagonist...
It's all my script!
Using an air fryer?
The protagonist, Sakuraku, has a typical university life, but everything changes with Mumu's arrival. What begins as an unexpected cohabitation quickly turns into a whirlwind of chaotic events. The chemistry between Sakuraku and Mumu leads to a super spectacular, appliance-filled and cat comedy adventure.
Lazarus, get out of here. I don't even want to watch it anymore. I'll be watching this exclusively and nothing else.
I get to watch a cat use a toaster.
Bro,
This is it.
I'm
Game
sorry.
over.
Sometimes anime is just greater than everything else. You know what I mean? They just get it. They get it, man.
He's using the vacuum.
Look at him. Ah!
He hasn't got thumbs.
Now, I couldn't find much about the manga or anything on No One Could Be, except there was one person complaining
That's because
that...
they keep it in the Vatican seals.
Honestly.
They can wheel it
They
out.
stole it from my desk.
Someone was upset that the calico cat is a male. They're like, there's not many. And I was like, that's interesting. But I was like, it's an alien cat. I think we can...
Alien.
I
There's
think
not
we
many
can-
aliens either.
He's using appliances, man. Give him a break.
Yeah, but I was like, no, I got that person. I actually went, yeah, I reckon. Okay. Explain to me. This is actually by Sunrise.
Okay.
All right. Just someone I just don't understand. Okay. This is called Maybashi Witches. All right. The anime story, set in Maybashi City in Gunma Prefecture, is about the coming-of-age story of 5 high school girls. First-year high school student Yuina lives an ordinary but unsatisfying everyday life. One day, a mysterious frog named Keropi scouts her and 4 other girls to become the Maybashi Witches. Suddenly, a room closet is connected to a mysterious space that brings girls to a magical flower shop where they sing, dance, and make other people's wishes come true.
What the fuck?
Okay, and then I watched the trailer, which isn't translated, but I went, all right, maybe I can make sense of this. And I was just like,
I thought we were going Narnia there for like a split second. I was like, oh, they're going to go adventuring? Yeah. Just like,
no, there's a closet.
they're in a closet.
no,
It's a
but
flower shop.
It's a flower
sing
shop
and
where they
dance.
sing and
and they
dance.
sing and dance and wishes happen.
Are they all frogs in that world?
No, just that one frog.
Just that.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know, but it looks like quite epically animated. I think a lot of people are excited for it. So I don't
Just
know.
the peak anime.
From
Yeah.
Sunrise as well. Is it
Yeah.
Mecca? Like,
Well, I mean,
fuck?
yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that one just got me because I went,
That's a
I think I'm going to have to watch it just to see
Have to.
You
what
have
they
to
mean.
now.
Like, what do they mean? Anyway, that looks fun. This one, I was like, I don't know whether to fly the red flag or not.
Okay,
A
let's find
ninja
out.
and assassin living together is the direct translation, which is
Odd couple.
ninja de Koroshia, no.
A ninja is an assassin, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that this is actually Shaft Studio. So that,
Shaft,
yeah.
okay.
So like it's animated well and it's going to be popular, I think, for a lot of reasons. It is just giving like I was like, I hope this is not fan servicey, a bit too fan servicey for me. A lot of shows in this field kind of are. And there was like a panty joke in the first 10 minutes of the first 10 seconds of the trailer. So I was like, not really for me. But then I was like, maybe it's okay. I don't know. But I'll just read out like Satoko Kasuguri is a female ninja who left her village with her comrades, finds herself living with Konoha, a high school girl working as an assassin in the city. Satoko possesses the ability to transform objects using ninjutsu, which catches Konoha's attention. They strike a deal. Konoha provides Satoko with a place to live in exchange for Satoko's help in cleaning up after her assassination jobs. As they face off against assassins sent by Satoko's village, indulge in delicious meals using money earned from assassination jobs, and navigate the chaos of their unusual living situation, the story captures the heartwarming yet chaotic lives of these 2 unlikely roommates. So the way that she helps her clean up, which I thought was kind of funny, she turns the dead bodies into leaves and stuff.
Okay.
So, and it is like giving off the wall humor to young girls, like, and it seems like the assassins that are sent are like,
disposing bodies though.
yeah.
It's lighthearted.
no, but it's like a crazy off the wall kind of like
They're
there's
eating
this like
ramen now.
yeah, seriously though, it's like that kind
rid
of
of a
weird,
body.
yeah. So I think it's good. It's like very much a comedy,
Yeah.
comedy action,
Yeah,
like
okay.
So I don't know. It doesn't
Help
really
me get
sound
away
like
with
it's
murder.
pop.
An irreverent, ridiculous
Yeah.
comedy, right?
Yeah,
Off the wall.
and like she wants to like become an assassin. There's like a league of assassins. There's like rankings, and I think she gets like sent ones to try and take her down. So like I heard that, and I saw some rankings of assassins, and I went, well,
okay.
now I could be. Then the panty joke
Now-
lost me, but then I was like more
Maybe.
rankings of assassins. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be for me, but I feel like that is one that's very high on a lot of people's lists. Like,
Okay.
it's a very famous studio, and I think the source material is quite popular.
Interesting idea.
This one I think is actually going to be good. It's called Mono, based off a manga, like 4-panel. So like
Oh, yeah. Like
and
Watch
it's-
the Rock was, yeah.
and it is the same author as Laid Back Camp, who is a web
Oh.
author called Afro. Is this the name Afro? Is the
Right.
like name of them. So I was like, Laid Back Camp, we've talked about before. It's a very wholesome, very slice of life, very like cozy anime.
Yes.
This one, I loved the synopsis, and I think I'll probably watch it. The photography club is in danger of shutting down.
I mean,
And
you
then,
got me.
and the cinema club too. Fret not, for they shall merge and become Cinephoto Club. Now club members Satsuki, An, and Sakuraku are asked to be the main characters for manga artist Haruno's latest work that's centered around action cameras. The girls head out to capture the lovely sights of Japan, experimenting with gadgets beyond photography and film equipment, and of course, chomping on the local delicacies that come along the way. This is cute girls doing cute things,
Yes.
wholesome,
Straight up
cozy.
and down.
Yeah.
It's also got Keep Your Hands Off Isaac and vibes. I can hear a little bit there.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of like humor along with it, I guess, like, yeah, and the hobby in this is both cinema and photography
Together at last.
together at last. But, you know, we've talked about like our favorite tropes, and this one's being like, the club's going to shut down. And like, literally, that's just how I was like, beautiful.
Great.
Two
Sold.
clubs.
Two of them, two.
Two this
It's
time.
bucking the trend.
Yeah.
Innovation.
Innovation.
The lady blessed by the gorilla god is adored by the royal knights.
Okay.
Based off a webcomic.
Obviously.
I know you're going to get into this, but I'm going to say she's cursed to look like a gorilla.
No. She gets the. You'll see. In a world where individuals receive blessings from various animal gods at the age of 16, Sophia Lila, a timid count's daughter, unexpectedly receives a blessing of Gorilla God, said to be the strongest in combat. Though she longs for a peaceful school life, her rare and powerful ability attracts the attention of the royal knights, who scout her as an apprentice knight. Despite her efforts to hide her overwhelming strength, she can't help but stand out. Meanwhile, the promising young knights around her watch over her with kindness is the ending of the synopsis. So I was like, is this a comedy?
That's the synopsis.
Like, is it a comedy? I don't know. Or is it, I mean, to be honest with you, everyone looks like a hottie knight and she looks like she's in a reverse harem. So that's what I
Yeah.
got the vibe of. But I thought it could be like a funny, like, and she's really fucking strong, you know, like, and it's like not ladylike or, you know, she's trying to like harness this like really strong spirit.
Crushes someone with a hug or
Yeah,
pats him on the back.
yeah,
and they'll
yeah.
fly.
yeah.
Um,
Like Mackie and Fire Force.
Yeah.
But
I'm disappointed that not changed into a gorilla though.
Yeah.
no, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but that's one that caught my attention. So this one, I was like, I don't know what this is, but classic stars. Gloria Private Academy is a school where promising young people gather in all fields of entertainment, including music, art, and sports. In the music department, those who match the talent of great musicians are transplanted with a gift into their bodies and are called by the name of that musician. Beethoven, a young man who was discovered to be a
Now you got
compatible
my attention.
after an injury, is one of them. After transferring to the school, Beethoven meets classmates with different gifts and discovers the charm of music while aiming to win the competition. So it's giving
Wow.
like
I
hot
wonder if
boys.
he'll win.
Well, I mean, no, he's up against. I was
He's
looking
up
at the
against
cast
Mozart?
lists. Yeah, I was looking at the cast list. It's like lit.
Picasso in the art school
Yeah,
and then
oh, yeah.
Ronaldo on the field.
It's all. It is. It's all that. They're like hot Bishonen, like hottie anime boys who
Alright,
have
I'm
the
in.
ability of like Mozart and Beethoven, but they battle it out in a school setting. I don't know what this is. And I was trying to figure out, it's based off it's like a mixed media project, which
A novel.
a fever dream.
stunning novel. But I mean, got my attention. I
I'm
went,
in.
great.
That's
I'll be
wild,
watching
dude. That's
that
a good one.
one.
It's one of your better ones.
Gordon
Thank
Ramsay
you
in the
so
fucking home
much. Is
Is
economics
there some
department.
kind of vampire dormitory that we haven't heard of yet?
No, and I'm upset with that. But there is a couple.
Disappointing the lack of vampire dormitories.
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
very disappointing.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
season off. Yeah.
That's my list now. I think out of all of those, I think there's actually some really good ones there.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks like a strong season actually.
Yeah, and we'll
Nah,
see. And I'm
Not hearing
sure,
all those.
and I'm sure there's a bunch of things that we have missed. And there's also like for time, I didn't read like half of the ones I wanted to read out. So if there's anything we've missed, please let us know in the comments because I would like to add it to my list. I think this month I might do a thing where I watch all of them and do.
I don't know those again.
I used
Cool.
to do that. You can check it out. No, it's really irrelevant now. It's from like 2 years ago. You're like, oh, what does she think of like Unchained Soldier or whatever the fuck it was?
Soldier.
Yeah, cool.
Not good.
Yeah, I think that it's important to kind of like not overlook anything, you know, including Beethoven. He won't be underestimated.
Never.
Anyway, that's my take on the season.
Now it looks like a very strong season. A very looks like a bats very deep. Quite interesting stuff as well. Like we
Yeah.
haven't got like there's no like Demon
Monster,
Slayer or
yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen. There's nothing huge coming back. Like Fire Force is the biggest, and still you wouldn't call that like a massive heavy hitter. So yeah, this looks like there's quite a lot of depth and quite a lot of interesting. A lot of sci-fi. A
Yeah.
lot of sci-fi.
I mean, Lazarus sounds like it's going to be monumental.
We hope so. We hope so. That's what obviously.
The one about the cat. I mean,
What about the alien cat? I mean, the Moonrise. Moonrise looks cool too.
that's cool.
Yeah. So we will see. It kind of feels to me like Moonrise, they're really giving that director, Hiroyuki Tanaka, like his shot. You know what I mean? Like, so it could be like a sort of Shingo Natsume type thing where maybe he takes this and because it's fully original, it's anime original. Could take it to the next level. Could he could become one of the next big heavy hitting guys. So I'm excited about that.
Could be a great season ahead.
Could
Yeah.
be. So
Or you never know.
Gary Terrell.
or it's a
You never
disaster.
know.
We don't know. That's what these are fun.
I
Come back
do.
in 4 months.
Yeah, I do think like, and also just important to note that this is all the anime that is airing, that has been announced as of this record date, which is about a week out from when it's going to come out. But apparently, like sometimes things get announced later. So I don't know if Black Torch is going to be in this season. I doubt it. There's a
Yeah.
trailer for it, but I think it probably will come in the next season.
Yeah, I believe
which
so.
we'll talk about if people are like, what? Because there's actually some really exciting ones coming out later this year.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
few
yeah.
I'm frothing for.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be exciting. But
Shout out to
in this
Talia.
season, I first glance I was like, oh, we're in for another like
the same.
dud, and then I read the synopsis and I was like, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, this looks exciting, but again, could be bad. Could be bad. Who knows? We'll find out. But hey, if you got any ideas or anything that we've missed or you want to talk to us, email us at hello@gatewaytoanime.com. We love hearing from you. And also comment below if you're on YouTube, whatever we might have missed, what you're watching, what you're most excited about. We always love hearing from y'all. And as I said at the top of the show, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But also, if you really like what we're doing, you can head over to our Patreon, special release episodes, behind the scenes footage, and early release. So thank you all so much. Charlie, Graeme, Always a pleasure. And we're excited. We're low-key excited because it looks like an interesting season. That's what
This
I think.
episode really got me there.
Yeah, you were
I was
a bit
off
down on it.
but it sounded like some good stuff.
It was Beethoven, wasn't it?
It was really
It really
Beethoven.
was.
It
But Alien Cat
was.
got
Cat,
it.
Alien Cat, and
stars.
Beethoven.
And also just a quick thank you, shout out to Hobbyco for sponsoring this episode. Links in the bio, get more information. Make sure to check them out. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Always appreciate talking to you all about these new seasons. They always get me excited or they make me depressed. This one, very excited. So, Charlie, Graham, thank you. And hey, we'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.